Hey, how's it going? It's the Mad Otter, and we're back. We're back. Starting. Hey, how's it going? Nope. Excuse me. What a start. Right, where are we? I will remember this time to go to main screen. Start with. Excuse me. Instead of doing what I did last time. Why is main screen very interesting? Oh, what's going on with OBS? How weird is that? It's showing. That's very, very odd. It was showing on the screen and now it's gone again. 1 second. Let me sort out what the hell is going on with OBS again. Right, there's that. Showing technical. Ah, there we go. Finally. God dear. It does make you wonder sometimes. Anyway, we are back. We're on main screen this time instead of hiding it. And we've started on the factory. The factory. The main factory. So last time, if you remember, we were trying to work out blueprints for the roof and stuff, and I've just started developing some air conditioning type units and bits and bobs, and we'll eventually tie those up probably with some sort of system inside as well. In the meantime, I have been planning out, as you can see here, basically what we're doing. This factory is for 10 components. The idea is for 10 components of every component for the space elevator. So I decided I'd start with number 12 because you know that makes sense. In terms of laying it out to get the length, and amazingly, it just fits in the length. So what I'm trying to do is do a production line for each item going up, basically the up the factory. Now the thing with this is I'm still playing around with the idea of whether to have it open like this or whether to have it boxed in, so each thing is in a box, or whether to take out these walls in this section and link it all behind so that each row is just one big box. And I haven't yet decided. So we'll just carry on planning it out and laying it and stuff and getting the components in, and then there is a huge job to do underneath eventually in the logistics floor, which will be sorting out all the stuff coming in. But what's come out of this planning session over the last few days, we've got number 12 is there, which takes up the whole row. We've got number 1, 2, and 3 all in that row, and number 4. They all fit. Number 5 is going to be there. Number 6 is here. 7, etc. But what we've worked out with this spacing is we may have enough room, because I think to get all of them in, if we can only ever get them in a single row from now onwards, it will finish somewhere around down here. And that means we have all this space going up, which we may be able to, instead of building the small component factories over there for doing the plates, rods and wire, etc., we may be able to do them here and have the train come straight in basically along this line, drop off the goods, the ingots, make the goods, and then they filter in underneath. So, so might be a slight change of plans there, and then this will come out because it won't be needed. And all that platform over there that we set up potentially for it will be also unnecessary, and all these railway stations. So that's what's come out of that, is that we actually may have space to do the whole lot here. So we will find out. We will find out. But in the meantime, we'll keep working out So I've put little temporary signs down. I've done on the, if we go with this finished box glass sort of sealed unit type factory, and that will have a piece in there. We've got these little sign setups done on them showing what's got to come in, what's being produced as the big sign, and what it's providing, basically. So it's basically providing the next box, which is the effectively for those things, the oscillators and the modular frames. So that's what comes through here. Modular frames is next. So we're just working our way up basically through this crystal oscillators times 5, and I think we've got another one here that we'll have to put in. Yep. I was also trying out these lights down the side, and they seem to work okay actually. They seem to work okay. So we might carry that sort of idea concept along as well as we're going. We've just got to sort of work our way through it, and hopefully it'll all work out as intended. And the probability of that is probably quite small, but one can only try. So that will be, I think, the same crystal oscillators, yep. AI limiters. Now they are produced in assemblers, so I think we're going to go back to an assembly production for that. Where are we? Is that facing the right way? I think it is. Yep. Looks right. Sweet. We've made these little power things as well, so that the wiring's as minimal as possible, basically, so it just comes down. Technically, I probably could have made these higher and actually had them fit into the machine almost. Looking at that, I'm wondering, it could be a possibility. Stators. That's also going to be another. I need to sort out the AI limiters first, though. I need to change the thing because these will be set on iron reinforced plates or something. Yep. So AI limiters. And we need how many? Oh, get out of it. We need 30 in total. So that's 7.5 per unit. So what's that? If I do that, there we are. That's what we need. It allows for a little bit of Control C, Control V expansion if we need them in the future. But this map is, because it's creative mode, it really doesn't need, it's not like, I mean, all this stuff is going to be sort of, I think the end, I'm not sure whether I did the last lot of space elevator or not, or left it to be done, and I think I did. So you'll probably find this stuff in here will need to be used, which will be quite good just to have it functioning. But eventually it'll all just be sunk anyway. But it was just, I wanted to do a realistic factory for once, rather than all my organic crazy stuff that I normally do. Status, okay, so we are doing the same. We've set up a little start of a logistics floor underneath just to test out this first one, which I'll show you briefly. So if I put my torch on, you might be able to see what we're doing down here. So basically the logistics floor is a bit like this, where the room almost continues on down. There's even some containers for the items coming in before they go up with the rate going up, so I can measure that. And then there's a little staircase that comes up inside the actual room. That was the idea if I do the closed version. If it's more open, then it will operate differently. But that's basically what will happen on each thing, each room basically. But we'll see what happens, one step at a time. That's status, so we've got to sort that out, and we need 15. Okay. So let's change that over to status. And what we want is 15 divided by 4. So we don't need any of these. You can go Control C, Control V. Okay. Circuit boards. Now I think they can be done back in the assembler program, because I think it's just with the alternative recipe I'm going to be using on this particular one, and I'm going to be using the silicon version, silica version. That one. It's a very, very good thing for circuit boards. Nice and easy. Now we need 95, so how many can we actually produce in here? Ah, yep. So we need 95 divided by 4. There you go. Another version of that. Okay, so I'm just hoping I did all my maths right when I was doing the laying out. Otherwise it's going to end up a right mess at the end. But there we go. We'll see. We will see. That should... didn't do it. Okay. Control V. Control V. Control V. Control V. So the circuit boards. High-speed connectors. Now, if I remember rightly, high-speed connectors are done in manufacturers, I think. It's so long since I've made all these products. I've got to sort out my blueprints as well yet. They are a mess. Foundry, foundry, foundry. Factory. weird that that's there as well as in there. I think that's a glitch. Where is my manufacturers? There it is. I hope everybody's had a good weekend. I've had a very crazy, stressful weekend, but it's been good to have it for now finished. I feel a lot calmer today. Where are we? High speed connectors, okay. Right. Question is, how many do we need? 15. So that's 7.5. So we don't need that by the look of it. I've also said Planet started playing Subnautica 2. Let's be connected another 15. That's been just started, so I'm only like a couple of hours in, sort of thing, I think, but it's good fun. So far. Might do some streaming of that at some point. Once I've got a bit more of a handle on it, just so I know where I'm going. I've actually lost. I can't find something at the moment. I can't find a metal and that I need to progress, and it's kind of trying to progress me quicker through the thing, through the mission sort of thing, than I can actually do. So I've been scouting around for the last few hours trying to find this metal, and I still can't find it. Trying to find silver. But anyway, different game. Right. I'm surprised it doesn't copy the whole thing anyway. Control V. Control V. My speed connectors are done. Computers, the next one. So in fact we can copy that across because it's one of those as well. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a frog again in my throat. I don't know why. I need to keep drinking. Need a whiskey. Haven't had a whiskey for ages. It's a bit early in the day and I haven't got any in the house. First world problems, eh? Right, computers, how many do I need? 10, so 5 in each. Well, that's easy enough. Control C, Control V. Same again. I must admit, I'm really loving these blueprint setups. They're very simple, very clean. I've tried to keep them as clean as simple, and even on the walls and everything, the double skin with the wiring inside. Really liking them. It's although it's not as sort of pretty as my organic builds, I am really enjoying it, and yeah, it's great to actually sort of feel like a whole factory's coming together properly in a sort of weird way. And again, computers. Okay, so we obviously need 30 computers out of this line. Let's do that again then. I think that one's caught it this time. Yep. Oh, yep. Gotta love it. And again, oh my word, we obviously have needed a lot of computers. I think I did this setup on Saturday. Marking out. Because I got interrupted, not in a horrible way, but I got interrupted by my neighbour. Had to go and help him out with his e-scooter. He bought an e-scooter, a big one off me, some time ago, and he thought he had a puncture on it, so he was trying to work out how to change the tyre because they're quite fiddly because of the split rims. So I went across and gave him a hand sorting that out. At least he now knows how to do it. Okay. Let's do blueprint to blueprint. Come on. There we go. There is one flaw on this blueprint that I've noticed as we've been going along. It's no biggie, but it's something I can sort out as I later on if I want. It's actually got two beams here. It doesn't need a beam on the blueprint on that side. So it's doubling up as it goes, but that's okay. I can easily go along and delete them individually as I need them, or don't need them as the case may be. If anybody wants these blueprints, or even a copy of the map when it's done, just let me know and join my Discord basically, and I can probably get a file to you that way of them. More than happy to share them out. You might be able to improve them too. So on these ones I've got the sidewall and the gutter on it on the top of the framework. We decided on this factory, unlike the foundry over the other side of the map in the desert, we decided to go for a flat roof. And I've done a bit of an oversized sort of fake gully on them here on the sides, every other sort of or every third one, for the water to drain off into the gutter. Just because in reality flat roofs are not actually flat. They're like about 3-degree slope or something. So, which, yeah, we can't, well, we could, but we couldn't sort of do it. We could do it if we made it completely out of pillars and beams, but it wouldn't quite be the same. It was kind of pointless, counterproductive in terms of, yeah, everything. So, I think it's two between, 1, 2, yeah, and then one of these. And back to that one. And if you can't use Discord or can't get onto Discord and you still want it, let me know, because there are other ways of doing it. If you've got an email address you're happy to share, then I can give you my business one, and yeah, and we can send it that way. Have I put 2 gullies in? I think I have. What a noob. Eventually these will have these aircon units all over them. The other detail we're going to be doing over them is it ended up working out quite well, and I quite like the look of it. At this end is like the tar strip, sealer strips of where the thing goes. I mean, it's partly here anyway in the big units, but so we're going to do some random patching like this, as if it's had repairs done. Then that will be eventually over the whole thing as well, just to break up the monotonous flat black, and it will have the air cons all over it as well, in appropriate places. I've got to sort all that out, but yeah, big job. Versatile framework, here we go. I think it's assemblers. Gone too far up, haven't I? And it's now around the wrong way. how much of these do we need? 25. Good. Electronic control rods. Not sure actually. I think they're assemblers. Yep. Okay. How many do we need? 10. So we need 10 divided by 4 is 2.5. Just allowing room as well as much as is possible for expansion if we need more of stuff. But I'm trying to set it up so every line has is the complete run of production for its own component. So it's self-sufficient effectively. And then it means components from here, i.e. won't be shared across to this line here, etc., etc. It will just be down that line. Then if there's any fault on that production, I know that it is totally internal effectively, and it's not reliant on something else. That's the idea behind the madness. We'll see what actually happens in reality once it kicks off. Time crystals. I can't remember what they're made in actually. Did I make a blueprint for them? I did. Look at that. Time crystals. There we go. Made in those fellas. Yep, that's the right way. I have to wire all these walls up as well, so they've got to be wired up together. But I can do that after. That's not right. It's gone sunk down. No, get out of it. I don't know why it sounds. It's very finicky on that part. Looking good. I like it indeed. I can't hear it actually building. I wonder if there's I don't know whether you guys can hear that on the audio. If you get any problem, that's why. Master volume, look at that. I turned it down. I know why I did. If that comes up too loud, let me know. I was listening to someone stream while I was building over the weekend, and yeah, couldn't hear them with the my stuff going on. So is that correct? It is. Yep. Okay, what's we got after the supercomputers? So we'll be back to manufacturers for the old supercomputers. We need to go that way around. How many are we needing? 5 supercomputers. So we need 2.5. Awesome. I love how Satisfactory does make the math sides very easy to do, and the fact that you can just even down here, I mean, we could literally put like 5 divided by 2 and it just does it for you actually in the machine. It's great. Love it. Very cool feature of Satisfactory, that. Another load of supercomputers. Okay. Could have put 5 and 5, of course, and saved 1 row on that, but I'm trying to do it so that I can allow for a little bit of extra if I need it. Doesn't always work, but in principle, if I decide to up the production from, say, 10 per minute to 15 or something, then it gives me room to play, basically. Excusez-moi. Fixit trigons. Now I think they're constructors. I might be wrong, but I think I made a blueprint for them. Did I not make a blueprint? Fish control I did. My memory serves me well on that occasion, which is rare. Looks a very empty, lonely little space. Just that on it. Need 150 per minute, so we need 50 per unit. So we're going to do 2 of those by the look of it. Get back to 50. Let's put it in. $150, yeah. Control C, Control V, Control V. Excuse me. And then I think the rest is done. We've got excited photonic monitor, dark matter crystal, magnetic field generators. Yeah, did this on the weekend. Neural quantum processors and a super position oscillators, which I didn't put a sign up for yet. And then the final product piece, which is the AI expansion server. Now we do have way too much dark matter residue coming off, which we're going to have to burn off, basically. So one of the reasons why I put a shorter couple of things in here is this part of the factory at the end here, which will be sort of more central to the other parts, will end up having a number of these particle accelerators, and we will be turning the dark matter then into dark matter residue into crystals basically, and then basically sinking them. So that's one of the byproducts effectively that comes off it, but we'll get to that once it's up and running. Once I see it all starting to tick along to this point, once we get to this point up here, that's where it all gets a bit more if everything here is working perfectly fine along this entire line, then this will start to work, and the only thing that will hold it up is that, and then we can just plonk the pits in place and start seeing it function properly. But we've got a hell of a job to do all the logistics of this underneath yet, so that is the next job. But I'll just fill in the ceiling, I think, and wall to that end over that line, and then I know it's done for that piece. Cock that one up. What is going on? Thank you. That'll do to there. Imagine having to do this all by hand. We used to, back in the early days of Satisfactory. Definitely think they were one of the best things that ever came out, actually, was the blueprinting in this game. And it is amazing what you can do with one of the other builds. The nearest I got to a normal factory, and it wasn't by any means a normal factory, was my vertical build factories, where I did the mines and the products all in a 2x4 foundation space, cramming it all in. They were fantastic. Looked really cool across the map too. Just putting the framework on this run, and then I'll be leaving the roof for a little bit, just to keep breaking things up a bit so we don't get too stair crazy on one thing. There we go. Okay, so the next thing, we've got the other runners to put in under the ceiling as well, so I'll put those along. These crane sort of gate walkway things that move, we'll have several of those along, but it really depends. I'm a bit torn by them because they look cool, but it's kind of like if I do the sealed box type factories, they become irrelevant, other than possibly moving goods off the sides where we might have some storage and some goods. But if it's an open factory, then like this, then it makes total sense that they would sort of still be there, but then, I mean, everything's sealed anyway, so it's kind of, but I do like the look of them. It's a bit of fun, so I'm just unsure yet as to what their purpose will be. Okay, let's put some more lights as we go, and that will help with the wiring as well as we do. I've done a bit of wiring going along, and I can't remember how far I got up to now actually. Oh, one of those moments. I think I got up to here because that's why I left it open. Yeah, I need to do this one here. No, it is done. That was the last one done. So, right, okay, that's all right. We'll come along with the lights up to that point then. We know where we're going. So I'm just undecided, yeah, whether to do these sealed sort of like factories within the factory, or whether to keep them open like this, or even if this whole row is one sealed unit, so it's separate from each production line. But I'm sort of, yeah, I'm toying. I kind of like it, but then I'm thinking, you know, is that too high tech for? I mean, some factories are done like that. That's where I got the idea from, was researching on Google and stuff, different factories. But when you get into doing like microchip factories and stuff, they actually look like the inside of an Apple computer, where basically which each component is sort of locked up in its own little box. So if we open this up, there should be a way to get to power to here. So we've got to just find the end. There it is. You can bring it from there through to here. Make sure the little sign is around the right way. Like that. Back to the light, and you get another light. And we can seal that hole back up. I don't normally use these lights, I normally use the wall ones, but I actually quite like them in here. Just because they're a point difference, they're the same size, and these technically could be up, and I might do another set depending on how it goes at a different level. And these ones up on the wall or something, and perhaps make them less bright. We'll just have to sort of see how it works out. Now, obviously we're going to need more lighting over here, but once we get over to this side where all down the middle there's going to be these things dotted around all the way up to take the support of the span, then we're going to have lights off these as well, so we may end up having to do some ones down the center and stuff and bits and bobs down each row. We'll have to wait and see, but one step at a time. But then again, I mean, if we're doing the boxed version, they have a light inside them, so it's kind of, that's why I'm umming and ahhing over it at this point. But these just add another sort of industrial look to the whole thing. Where are we? Power cable. Oop. Is it quite easier that way or this way? Probably this way. I think that's in the wrong position, but it doesn't really matter because it is hidden. There you go. Who would know? And eventually we'll change. I don't know whether to do the whole floor white or whether to go for just the coated on the rest of it, and maybe do it a lighter tone than the dark grey. Again, it's one of those not sure moments. So if we go to colours, that's not going to colour up, but see, this one goes really white. It's the pure white, and I think it would be too much having the whole floor like it. I think it would be just too like zappy in your face. This is almost a fraction too dark for me. That's even darker. So it's kind of whether I can find a compromise somewhere. That's even darker. That does nothing. So yeah, I've just got to work that one out, whether it's and then of course we'll get patterns and lines all on it for fact, because I think we can get trucks and everything down here if we wanted to as well. I think I made it big enough. Yeah, so you could have a one-way system basically around the factory, or we could just use factory carts. Either way, things to think about for the future. There's so much work here, it is unreal, but that's okay. It's part of the fun. That feels like a long way away. It is indeed. There's the near one. The other thing I'm really loving as well that they've done is they've brought in these round concrete beams, and you can paint them up pure white and they look very, very cool in terms of they look like the actual sort of beams that they use, reinforce, the strengthening ones, diagonals on the framework. So I was really pleased with that. What is that up there? I have no idea what that is from. I'm wondering if it's from an aircon unit, but I don't think it is, because I don't think I put any along apart from right down the end. Just to test it. Yeah. There is. Oh, don't tell me it's on the blueprint. It is as well. It's a fault on the blueprint. Dang! I've got to go through and get rid of that then. I know what it was for. I know what it was for. Yep. It actually is part of it. Ignore that. We will pretend it never happened. another couple of these in, and then we'll go back to the lighting. Okay, one there. That looks nearest. So one of the reasons I'm doing this is because with the lighting like this at the moment is because it will tell us where I got up to with the walls with the power cables being connected. Because once we plug a light in and it doesn't work, then we know that that connection is not connected to the previous panels. So it gives us a bit of a clue to it as we go along. I think it's going to be easier going that way. Sweet as. If you embark on doing large factories like this instead of sort of smaller factories, it's always good to try and have multiple things going on so that you can break it up. Because it's very easy with the repeat problem to get it can get very monotonous. So it's always good to have different parts of it on the go, and then you can just say, right, we're going to go and do this, do some more mapping out. It's like in a minute I might go and do some more labeling over here and working out the next production line and seeing how that's going to work. And I've got a quandary here to actually resolve, because it was sort of on yesterday. I basically realized the next one in this production line here is in fact repeating all of this whole entire line and then adding something else on the end. And the question I've got is whether I break my thing of whether I want to keep each production line in its place for its specific item. And if I do that, I've then got to work out going forward from that end point up to the end of the factory whether I've got enough space to actually finish the production line. That's the question. So I'll probably go and do that in a minute as well, just to give my brain a different mix. But that's roughly where I'm sort of aiming at. Oh, that was nice and easy. Thank you. Looks like that one Okay, missed a panel there as well. Did we do this one up here? We did. So that might be the last panel because that looks like the panels have been removed. So we'll find out when we do this next one, and that will tell us 100% whether we got up to where I was. Okay, no, we're up to here still. Which is interesting. (50-50) which end I go for on that one. I need to patch up there too. So is that one over there by the look of it. Looks a bit more like it. Right, nice and easy on that one. Oh, we got power on that one. I got further than I thought, obviously. Oh well, it's all got to be done anyway. I don't know what the power consumption is, by the way, on these. It's probably horrendous. What does it say? Doesn't tell us. It's a bit bizarre actually that the floodlight doesn't tell us what the is it on the information here? 6 megawatts. Okay, that's not too bad. Got about 140, 150 currently at the moment, so we've got plenty, and I can double that very easily with the rocket fuel. So 50-50, which end I go from on that one. Still got light, so definitely got further than we thought. Okay. It was pretty late, so for me. So I probably was a bit oblivious as to what I was actually doing. More than normal. Ah, there we are. That one isn't linked. So we've got up to here for sure. Yeah. It is dead. So we need to do this one then. I think. Yep. And down here to this one. Double. That should have light now. Yep. There you go. Cool bananas. Okay, let's go and do a little bit of maths now and trying to work out our placement of what we're going to do here, because effectively what happens is this line here, which is line number 5, I believe, is for we come over here. It is for adaptive, these things, adaptive control units. So that entire line there is basically going to be adaptive control units being produced. This line here is the next piece in the sequence, which is because adaptive control is number 5, so the number 6 is, wherever my little list has gone, here. Number 6 is assembly directors. So, and that's these fellas. And the adaptive control units we also need for those, but we also need to make supercomputers. And they've got a bit of work in them to make them happen. And what I'm worried about is whether we've actually got enough space to fit that production in here. And that's what I am sort of concerned about. Those signs are all wrong, by the way. We've got to sort them out. Oh no, that's number 4. Sorry, that's these ones here, adaptive control units. So it's this one here, this row. And what we do here, so we've got to work out this is the way I do my planning out, by the way. Well, technically we could, if we needed to, we could use this line as well. We could use a bit of this space up because the particle accelerators that will need to sync the dark residue stuff basically um, won't take up a huge amount of space. I mean, it will take up some, but it won't take up the whole lot. So we could always jump into a 2-lane process basically to try and get the thing still accomplished, but that's what I've got to work out. So if I put that sign here, because we know it's going to be the same length up to that point. And then we need to work out, I'm going to stick a new one. I don't want to travel over there all the time. Let's just stick these down so we've got some info to go on. So we need, the next one is supercomputers. Okay, so if we go to supercomputers, so there's quite a bit involved. The plastic's going to be coming in raw, so that's going to be straight in like an ingot. So we've got to make high-speed connectors, AI limiters, and computers. Now, if we're going for 10 per minute, and this is where the problem lies because these are really slow to produce. I mean, you're looking at so many units, and I don't think we're going to be able to get up to that magic 10 figure per minute realistically in the system that I want to build this factory. Because you'd be looking at 1.875, 10 divided by 1.875. Need 5 units. Oh, that's not too bad. That's actually not too bad. That's only 2 lots. Okay, okay. So what would that mean though? So we need basically 6. Well, we'd have 8 units doing it lowered down. But basically 6 we need to actually function. So we'd be doing basically 6 times this. And that's the other thing we've got to take into consideration is how many of those are actually needed. But anyway, supercomputers, if we're doing 1.875, so it's the same as the actual direct assemblers, 1-to-1. So if we do 1.875 times 5.3333, whatever it was, is 9. So that's basically, yeah, it comes to the 10. Okay. So we're going to here, we're going to need oh, 4.8, so we're going to need 2. We're going to have to drop these back to 2.5s then to get an easier figure to get up to the 10, and that means we're going to need 2 lots of units of those. So that's 4 times all of this amount basically. So we're going to need 40 computers, 20 II limiters. This is where I just don't know whether we've got the space there to do it. So I don't think we have, not in this single line, nowhere near. My brain aches. So do we cross split? That's the question. I think we will. I think we'll come across to at least this row and do some of the production on this row. Now what we need to do for that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have got a hole and we miss one. And we come across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that should be, yep, it ends in line. And then what we do is we do these white, at the moment I've just put down temporary block white barriers just so I know it's a separation point, but we will do something proper like, you know what I mean, when we get to actually doing it. It would have been quicker just to put a block down and paint it, wouldn't it? Never mind, never mind. And that would mean then effectively production would start here on one item at least, or if not two, up that side. So what we'll do, we'll go up to the end and work backwards and see what we can squeeze in. And if we can't, I'll have to rethink. My plan will have not have worked. The worst case scenario is that I have to, on this line, is actually extend it and make more of them, and it feeds into this production line. I didn't really want to do that, but that would be a worst case scenario. It's gone dark. Right. So let's keep painting these on our markers for the moment, just so we can see where we're going to go to. 1, 2, 1, 2. Right, okay, so we won't be going that far. Concrete. That will be the end there, because we need some room at the end of the factory. So if we go and put, we're going for assembly directors, aren't we? So we're going for 10, which means we're going to need 2 lots of the, will we though? Actually, let's just have a little look. We'll think on this for a second. No, not conductors, assemblers. So director assemblies, we wanted 10 of these ideally. We're getting 1.8, so it's just over 5. It was 5.3 or something roughly units. But we can have 2 of these. Well, we've got 4 of these units in one cluster, so That's making 7.5. So we just need two of them, two clusters. So I think they're called that. And then per unit we'll be doing 5, or per block. So there'll be one block there and then another block here. Or or we can do it the other way and put them side by side, like here. And do that, and that will ease up that line a little bit. And this still gives us all this free space for these particle accelerators for this dumping of the dark residue off that line, or anything else that needs to be dumped. Basically we can bring along into that area, so that's why I want to keep it clear, but this side should be fine. Okay, let's have a quick look. So the adaptive control units and supercomputers. I've just got to go back through this in my head, try and get my head around this, because I haven't sat down, unfortunately, with a spreadsheet, which is what I normally do. That's what I did on that line. That's all being spreadsheeted. So this one I'm trying to muddle through it in my own head, which is not a good idea. So supercomputers, and we needed, how many did we say? Same amount, so we are going to need 10 supercomputers. And this makes 2, so we only need 2. No, we're going to need 3. So it's 2 lots. So this is going to be super computers times 5. And that's going to be the same. I wonder if we should do this actually, do it in parallel. Where we're needing doubles. Kind of in some ways makes some sense, but 75 and 5, that's the 10 then we need, which will feed into that end for the supercomputers. Now the other thing we'd need is adaptive controllers, which would be coming from that point there. Potentially, if we can get enough of them, it might creep up a bit. So that's where we're going to need to think differently. But the other thing we need to work out now is the components for this. So 4 computers per superconductor, that's 40 computers we're going to need. That's a lot of computers. No sloop. Hi and welcome in, by the way. No sloop. Yeah, that's a good question. Technically, I want to only use sloops as a last resort. like if it just literally will not fit in. Um, the idea behind this whole basically complex of factory that's going to be here is I want to keep each line of production in its entirety for producing 10 components of each of the space elevator components. And I'm kind of allowing a little bit of wriggle room for expansion within that setup. So yeah, I kind of don't want to use sloops unless unless it's an absolute, it just will not fit in the factory line basically. Then I may do it on the odd machine, but I want to try and avoid it if I can, just because I like making life hard for myself. But yes, it's a very sensible suggestion. I'll give you that, mate. It would solve a lot of problems, but yeah. So where are we going? We need 40 computers, I said, didn't we? So we need to look at computers. 6.25, so let's go 40 divided by 6.25. We need 6.5 to 7, so that means 2. We're going to need 3. Grief, we're going to need 4 sets of things for computers. So this block here, these 4, are going to be just for computers. In some ways this is not, I mean, it's not the most sensible way of doing necessarily a factory. I mean, the ideal is that you have like computers being made in one part as a factory and you just to get hundreds of them made and all the rest of it, but this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this build, because it's just very different from what I've done before, and in both style and computers times 40, but we're breaking that down to 10 per group. So there'll be 10 there, 10 there. Because before I've always had smaller factories doing stuff and then sort of at the end pulling it all together. And they've been in very organic builds. And on my other map, which I also stream occasionally, is my organic stuff, which is all like huge big plants and stuff as factories. It's crazy builds. And I've never done a normal factory build. So it was one of the reasons for doing this, was that. And of course I'm having to think completely outside of my normal brain space, because my brain space doesn't work like this. So it's kind of forcing me down a route. So plastics coming in separate, cables coming in separate because that's a fixed item. Circuit boards is the other thing we will need to make here, and that is going to be assemblers. So just popping these down here because I can't be bothered. I'm so lazy to go and travel all the time to look at stuff. So circuit boards, we want to go for the silica version. And how many do we need? 4, and we're going for 40. So that's 160 circuit boards, I think. 160 circuit boards. So if we're doing that, 160 divided by 31.25, 160 divided by 31.25. It's 5 again, so we're going to need 2 blocks of circuit boards. Okay. So we will do those two. These two here will be circuit boards. Oh, we might as well just do this first and then sort it. Circuit boards times, and I've already forgotten, my brain's already gone into melt. 160, wasn't it, I think? So that'll be 80. 80 and 80. Okay, so we're getting there slowly. We are getting a copper sheet's going to come in, silica coming in. So that's the end of the circuit board production. So we need to go back then to here. Cables coming in, plastics coming in. That's the end of the computers. We're getting there slowly. We are getting there. Back to directives, assembly directives. So that is it. Okay. So how many do we need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at that. We are so close to not needing a second production line. That's close. But that said, we do need a ton more adaptive controllers than in that line, because that's only producing 3. And we need to produce 20. Which is a whole lot more. So I think we are going to need this space. So, so let's work backwards now from here and reevaluate what we're going to need from there. So adaptive control units, we have to go for 20. They're going to be made in, in here. And you can get 2.5. So let's just do 20 divided by 2.5. I should be able to do this maths in my head, but I can't. My brain is fuzzled at the moment. 8 with real life stuff, but that doesn't matter. Okay, so 8 units. So that's going to be 4 lots. 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the production. So what we're going to do, we're going to move it up. We're going to take it from there. And we're going to move it up here. And we'll put 4 up here. Use that line in my little paintings. There we go. So that's 2. We'll do another 2 here, and then that's the 4 that we'll need for all the adaptive controllers. That one. Okay. So there, we got that's the room now for the 4 adaptive controllers. and then we have to work backwards with that to see how much we're going to need and how much this is going to have to increase in comparison to that row. So circuit boards again, and we're doing 20, which was times 8, wasn't it? 8 times that. So we're doing 12.5 times 8. I think that's right. 12.5 times 8 is 100. So we need 100 circuit boards to be made. And they're made in this fella again. 100 circuit boards. Well, that's okay. We can get that within one block because that will be down to 25, like that. That all comes in on the separate ship, as it were, so that doesn't matter. 25. So we'll just need one block for circuit boards. Okay. That can be this little block here. Circuit boards times 100. Very good. Need 2 computers, so if we're doing 8 times 5 is 40. So we need another 40 computers. Flippin' heck. That actually all needs to move across. I've put that in the wrong position. I can grab we've got another 40 computers that need to be made. And we'll have that there. We're going to have to shift all these painted thingies across to get them in line, but basically just for the moment. There's that one underneath me coming in there. Like that. So that would be the 4 lots of computers. That would be 40 computers being made. So there's just automated wiring and heavy modular frame. So heavy modular frame times 80, so that would be 20 we'd need of those. per minute. So it'd be 4, so it'd be 2 lots. That's wrong. So that's the heavy mod frame times, we need 20, so we need 10 per group. So that will go there, that will go there. I believe that's right, if that's the computers. Yep. Every bunch of frames, that's 20. And then automated wiring. Times 8 is 100. So we need 100 automated wiring being made. First time, right? Automated wiring. And this is where the problem's going to be. This is going to be quite a biggie. So if I do 100 divided by 6.225, 16. So that's 4 units for the automated wiring. So if we come here, automated wiring, and we need 100, so we need 25 per sector. It's 2, 3. Why have I done something wrong here? I feel like I've done something wrong. Why has it taken all that line to produce 3 a minute of the, or 5 should I say, adaptive controllers? Now we're doing 10 there. So why is it taking all of that space up and I've done it within this space here, short space? I am confused. See, reinforced plates. Why have we got reinforced plates here? Encased beams. Encased beams. What's going on here? Have I got my products mixed up? 4 is modular engines, yeah. That's that lot in there. That's number 5, which is adaptive control units. Have I got the wrong one? There's something not right. No. heavy modular frames, maybe. Ah, we've made the encased beams here as well. That's what we've done. Okay. Right, okay. That starts to make more sense. So we needed how many modular frames? 10, 20, wasn't it? That makes more sense. Right. So if we've got heavy modular frames here and we're producing 20 of them, I think that's correct. One heavy modular frame, oh no, so we are producing, yeah, we're producing 20 we need of these, that's right, 20. So these we need 20, which basically means we need 4 units, which then means we need 2 bays for those which we've done. And that means we need 4 times this amount per minute. So we need 100 modular frames. So 100 modular frames. There's 8 of, no. $20. Units, which is a colossal amount, but we've got 4 units per thing, so that's 5 units. It's just modular frames. Wow. $100 per minute. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? So we'd be producing 20, yeah, per bay. So we need 5 bays. Wow. Okay. Modular frame. And we're producing per bay 20 of them. Oh. So we need 5 frames, 5 bays. 2, 3, 4, 5. Flippin' heck. Hoping we're not going to run out of space on that. Rods are coming in, they'll be coming in separate, so that's fine. Reinforced plate, I think, is the only other thing we need. So if we're producing 100 of these, that's going to mean, which is 20 times the 5, we need 20 times the 7.5, which is what, 150? Sounds about right, 150 iron plates. So 150, so we need 150 divided by 12.5 is the 12. So that's 4 bays of these fully maxed out. It's going to be close. It is going to be very close, even using that double lane at the top, which we really didn't want to do, but we're having to. So this is reinforced frames, reinforced, and we are producing 25, I think, per. Let me just double check that before I get totally crossed wired. Yeah, 25. No, we're actually doing more than that. That's per unit, so that's 25. We're doing 50. Oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, so 50. So we need three bays to get the 150. Well, that's not right. I put it in between. What an idiot. Right. There we are. So that's the reinforced one. It does not leave us a lot. Let's see whether we've got enough to finish this off in the one line or in the double line at the top. I'm hoping we have. It's a hell of a long production line, that. Weirdly enough, it's not the hardest one to, well, it is the hardest to produce, even though it's not the top item. Weird, eh? So we've got, that's for the frames. Still in cased industrial beams. That's going to be the other one was automated wiring stators. That's the other one we've got to produce. I don't know whether we can have enough room. And alive. Well, if we do stators, how much automated wiring did we need again? 25? 50? 125? No, 75? 100. I think it was 100. That's what we needed. Yeah. 100 automated wire. Okay, so that was a lot. Yeah. I don't think we're going to be able to fit it in. I just don't know. I can't see it fitting in. So 100 divided by 6.25, I think was the 16, is it? So 16 times that. Yep. So we need 100 stators. 100 stators. So it's 8 times that, which is 2 lots, 2 units, 2 bays. I mean, okay. So stators, we need 2 bays. We're getting there slowly. Then all the other stuff, steel pipes and everything else, is all made off-site. All the basic component stuff is made. Anything made is made off in those little bits. Stators, 2 bays. Yep, stators. And we're going to be doing times 50 in each bay. and we only have 2 bays left. So can we do it? Ay, 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 ay. Can we do it? We haven't got much more to do. We've just got the encased beams, and that's what I need to know. Now, heavy modular frames, we were having to produce 20 per minute. Yes. So heavy modular frames, 20 per minute. This was producing 5, so we needed 4 times this, so we need 100 encased beams a minute. We can't do it in the 2. No, we can't. We need one more bay. So how the hell do we squeeze in one more bay? Well, we can do it in a really weird way. Because what we can do is extend the factory this way by 1 bay, because that train station is probably going to be coming out. So we can, in fact, bring it out. We'll have to adapt a fraction. So this is encased beams, and basically what we need is we needed 100, and we're going to have to produce 50 per bay, because the maximum we can get out of the 4 machines is 80. So hence we're going to need the 2 bays. It's literally 20 short. That's how nutty it is. So I think what we're going to do is we will just, because you can produce 40 per bay, so 40, 40, 80, and then you need 20 more. That's how mad and how close we are to the whole thing. So all we're going to do is extend the bay this way. Not that one. And that's what we're going to do, is we're going to actually extend this by 1 more. Save blueprint, clear blueprint designer. And that's what we're going to have to do to make it work. It's no biggie. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And the interesting thing is, of course, is that this is how designs slightly change as you're going along. And number 6. It sort of doesn't really ruin my plan too much at all, which is good. It just extends we're just to knock out this wall, and possibly we'll just add another one in. It probably is only looking possibly 1 bay, maybe 2 at the most if we want a bit of room at the beginning. But it's no biggie, basically, and I'm reasonably happy with that, because yeah, it's not like we're cramped for space, because originally the station was going to be coming in here, and the way this is now going is that the station won't be here at all, and in fact all this will be gone. And because by the look of it, we are going to have enough room up this side of the factory to do all of the processing of the smaller components, which will be awesome. Because then they can filter in under in their logistics floor just straight underneath and go where they need to go. So this isn't a bad thing necessarily. It's no biggie. It's not a big upset. It's not like throwing the whole factory design out completely. So it's okay. We will manage. So that will come out. Another couple. That looks about right, and then we'll get an end one on this side. Like that. Well, in fact, we've got to actually change the blueprint for that. Interesting. Okay. Things you don't think about while you're doing your blueprint designs. Well, no, that's cool. That's okay. It's all gonna come together. And that's fine because we can take this out completely because it is not needed. And that's going to be interesting because it does free up the rocky desert area for pulling minerals out, because what we can do then is put them on the railway coming around this way back in. Well, they go out to the forge first, of course, in the desert, and then come back. Everything will come back down, straight down this line. And that's actually going to simplify things a little bit, so that's not a bad thing. Okay, well, we have done quite well today. That's a big plot plan on that one, number 6. I have to say that's yeah, it's not too bad that to get that done. I wasn't expecting exactly to don't know whether I'm wired up to that, and if I do, whether the power's then going to go off. Probably. Yep. Oh well. That's okay. We're nearly done anyway. What we will do is we'll pull that out as far as we can, because that fella is going to have to move anyway. We can actually move him out here. Move him outside the factory, and we can wire that as we so desire. There we go. The other cable underneath isn't attached, but that's okay for the machines in here. Just do that as a temporary fix. There you go. But a good... Well, we are getting there slowly. These projects do take time. And the figuring out of the maths is what often takes a lot of the time. As I said, I hadn't done the first line. I did number 12. I did it all on a spreadsheet, so it was a lot easier. This one here I've tried to do in my head, and yeah, my brain's not that clever. Oh, as you can see, get out of it. Oh, come on, seriously. Just had you on blueprint, and it flicks across to something else. Yeah, no, I think we're heading in the right direction. We've got number 6 done. We'll end up coming over here probably to number 7, seeing what the production that brings. We may, depending on how things go, we may bring these production lines back one, basically, but that means relaying out all of that, which I don't want to do. So we might not. We might leave a certain area here blank up to this point, then do these ones up to the next thing back one because we can, and then take these ones in the last bay, like this bay, further forward again. And that means it's at least a regular sort of pattern. So that's, I think, the way we will go, like that, and then that one can go back up because that's where going to be the next set of trusses. I think that could work. Yep, I think it can work quite well. We can have this area designated out as office areas and stuff and bits and bobs once we get it done, or whatever. Storage of components or something coming in. Might even do that. Might get the logistics once the components are made come in and sit in stacks here, and then basically we can divert them out from there. That might be the best route. Because I had, in my craziness, I had thought we could have trucks, and this is an idea because originally my storage idea was we were going to have storage like these up on the racks on each floor, feeding to a truck station. But I'm looking at it now and thinking actually what we could do is set it up with a truck station or truck stations like in this area. So we could actually have, we might need a bit more room for swinging around, but in basic terms, we could have like a truck station. I'd have to check out the new path thing and find out how much what the type turning as point is.
Fixit wishes to remind you that the vehicle path tools, which can be found in your build menu, can connect directly to the truck station's dock area. This ensures it will connect properly once everything is automated. The truck station can be set to load or unload, and can also refuel vehicles. Unlike some pioneers, truck stations care about saving humanity.
Whatever. So what I'm thinking is we could have a couple of truck stations or whatever, and they could come round, pick up goods that have been made from the other area, and then distribute them to storage areas along here that disperse out to each of the rows on either side. That's just a concept, and that means we'd have some movement of traffic going back and forth, but I just need to make sure there's a big enough turning point. Hello. What have we got going on the map here? It's flashing of something. Oh, is it the truck stations? Oh, because they got no fuel. Right, okay. I thought for a minute my trains had crashed or something, but they haven't. We're okay. Yeah, so I'm thinking basically we might do that. We might end up using this area back here for truck stations and storage of the basic components coming in. Get them transported down. They can be offloaded to various points along. It's all a matter of whether we can transport enough in the time frame, and that's something I'll have to investigate, but and plan out and see whether we can do it. But that would be pretty cool. We could do one set of truck stations here with trucks going back and forth, and then another one on the second lot where we've got this framework that will be going along, supporting all the roof span, and they can literally distribute out left and right. It could work, because I think even this could fit in. Like, where are we? That's what we're aiming for, isn't it? It'd be like sort of that, with a truck and a truck sort of thing. Just so we can sort of see there's enough space, and there's enough space between this and the factory, even if I do the glass box version. So I think it could work, and that would be a cool way of making some movement happening within the factory. And then over here we can just have, you know, all the large containers basically with the stuff, with the components that are coming in, and they can feed these. That might work quite well. We'll have to see how that goes, but I think in principle that'd be very cool, and it'd be really nice to see the traffic up and down inside the factory. Get some movement happening. And these hold a fair amount, I believe. I think they're where are you? Yeah, there's quite a bit there, so I think it would be plenty. I think it would work actually really well. Particularly on this sort of distance, it's not like it's going right across the map or anything crazy. It is just the length of this, which, all things considering, is a fair distance, but it's you know, not too shabby. Okay, well, I'll play with that idea. Now the seed is sown. What I will do here as well is just plonk down a couple of these so that it reminds me of what I want to do here in terms of that space. This space here is fine. We can have this a little bit freer here because the production line is going to be pulled back from this area just a little bit so we can fit it in. And then on this side we'll be going back, replicating that, basically going up there before the final productions. So we've done number 1 through to 6 and number 12, so we just need to now work on number 7 is the next one in line of the components for the space elevator. Now what is that? Number 7, magnetic field generators. These should be fairly easy to make, I think. And we're wanting to go for the 20 again per thing, so you're looking at basically 20 divided by 2.5, 8, that's 4. That's good. That's 2 bays, basically. That's nice, easy maths. That's 2 bays for that. So 8, we just got to times these amount by 8, and then we get what we want. Cool. Okay, well that one should be fairly straightforward to sort out. Which is good. Number 8 will go on this row then, unless number 8's short as well. Let's have a look at what component number 8 is. Number 8 component on my list is thermal propulsion rocket. These fellas. Now these are going to be more complicated. 100%. That's going to be a big build on this production line, and we may then need to use where this one finishes, because it's going to be a relatively, I think it's going to finish around here somewhere. We may need to use both lines going up ahead of that to the end of the factory to get all that stuff in, because that's a hell of a lot of stuff. Turbo motors, cooling systems. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to spreadsheet that one before I actually lay it out, as I did with number 12. It will be a lot easier. A lot easier. Well, that's been fun, I have to say. It's been good. Managed to get all that done. And yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. Overall, the looks coming together, you know, of the factory. As I say, I might tweak a few things, yep, once we get into it. We'll see how we go. Excuse me. Well, I think I'm going to go and grab some lunch. I'll go and grab some lunch, and I'll either carry on afterwards, or I might go and play a little bit of Subnautica 2. It's pulling me back at the moment while my brain is not fully functional. There's less maths involved. But no, we will be back. But today is Monday. I'm hoping to either do a stream tomorrow afternoon, New Zealand time zone. So it'll either be tomorrow or it will be Thursday. This week is the other day that I will probably be streaming. And we'll go from there and carry on. And hopefully by then I may well have number 7 laid out, and hopefully we can try and start getting some of this other stuff down and get the roof extended, get the walls extended out fully to the right size of the factory then, and then we can go from there. Awesome. Well, for everybody who's dropped in and said hello or whatever, thank you, and hope you have a great rest of your week, and do the usual. If you like what you're watching and seeing, drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and all that rubbish, and we'll catch you again, all being well, either tomorrow afternoon or Thursday. Take care.